You got me running, shaking, 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 baby. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
Okay, welcome to the Forex Trading Asia daily currency call. So, this is the currency call where you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. So this currency analysis is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we will be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, so this morning we had the New Zealand CPI data release and the Aussie retail sales data release. But before we get into it, we have Scott here today, Scott Andrews from Forex Briefcase Australia, to share a little bit about the dollar index. So Scott, pass the time to you right now for the dollar index.
All right, thank you very much. And thanks for joining us again, everyone, on the currency call. So look, the US dollar, we did see a little bit of a rebound overnight in the US session. It's still a little tentative to say, we're looking like strength is back, but I'll just bring up the screen and talk figures here. So we're currently at 91.20. We did see it bottom out at 90.85. So we have seen it get through. There was support at 90.91 or 90.92 there around. It dropped below that, but we did see the bond yield rally a little, but then it cooled off and it's actually below 1.6 now currently as well. So it's at a point where that 1.6 on the 10-year treasury yield in the US is quite key. So if we can see that, test that again and pull back, because obviously that 10-year treasury yield is quite indicative of inflationary pressures and higher interest rates. So you're going to see a lift in the US dollar typically, but if it just sort of cools off and we see that, I guess, become not much of a story point, then, the US dollar, with all that quantitative easing that's going on still, we'll probably see it cool off again. But again, it was a very key point. We saw the pound pull back, euro pull back, Aussie pull back as well. So it was quite a fast move on those pairs as well. So we'll see what happens here. Again, for us, we have to stay up quite late. 9:30 is when the US session really properly opens, and then you want to see what the equity markets do as well. We've seen tech, we've seen the S&P 500 and Dow Jones all sort of come back a little bit. So we'll see what happens midweek here with those markets, with equities, and also to see what the US dollar wants to do. If we see it fade out here, what I'm looking for is if it can get to 91.48 or 91.50. But right now it's looking like it's stalling out a little bit. But again, in this time of the day, typically the volumes and trading participants are a little limited. So you just have to wait and see and just stand by on potentially getting into a trade. So I just say we'll wait for the US session to come in tonight and then see if we see some continued corrections in the US markets, or if we can see risk coming back on, and then we'll continue with a short bias on the US dollar.
Okay, thanks for that, Scott. So guys, let's wait for the US Open before we make a decision on the bias. Okay, so back to the New Zealand CPI and Aussie retail sales data release. So today we are with Jin Dao Tai, founder of LCMS Traders, a multi-million-dollar trader trading an account with more than US $14 million on a daily basis. He's also an international speaker where he speaks in countries like Hong Kong, UK, US, Australia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and of course here in Singapore, sharing his views about the FX market. So Jin, tell us your views on both of the data releases.
All right, good morning, everyone. So Yes, as you said, we did have the New Zealand CPI numbers come out this early this morning. CPI numbers year on year going from 1.4% to 1.5. CPI quarterly number going from 0.5, was expected at 0.7, came out at a 0.8. But what you would see is that at this point, with the good news, but it's not ridiculously fantastic. It was good news, better than expected, but only by a slight amount. What we saw here was that on the charts, the New Zealand dollar actually, in the early stage when the news was being released, did have that slight upward move. We did see a reaction of about 20 something pips towards the upside. At this point right now, the New Zealand dollar is sitting at the 7167 support level, and it seems to be finding that footing. It seems to be finding that support at 7167. And although we haven't seen the immediate impact, the immediate push upwards, with this good news in terms of the CPI numbers, we could see it launch up from this point. As we were talking about this on Monday morning, saying that expecting that good news, expecting relatively good numbers coming out, the expectation was for it to bounce off 7167 and head towards 7225. It's done that very early in the week. I anticipate that we might actually see it sit at this support level before tracking higher again. So that was very quickly the New Zealand dollar based on the CPI numbers. The Aussie retail sales number did come out better than expected again, but you can see that the Aussie dollar also have that upward move. Right now, it is back to testing that 7720 support level again. Again, at this point, like what Scott was saying, the US dollar strength on the dollar index seems to be trying to recover, but it's still very tentative. We still should be waiting to see what happens during the US session or as the market develops. At this point, based on the broad view, it looks like we might still see some US dollar weakness come around, probably later into the session or even into tomorrow. We might see some consolidation and then that weaker US dollar coming in tomorrow. So, very quickly, straightforward news, good news on the New Zealand dollar and the Kiwi. Haven't seen that big jump up right now, but that move probably will develop over time, over the next couple of hours or into tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Jin. Just a question here. So usually for retail sales data, does it usually have that long-term impact, or do you just take a look at maybe just a day or two or a week or so, the kind of time frame that you're looking at?
Well, see, the thing about retail sales number is not a economic data that you should critically depend on to trade, because retail sales number is going to be influenced by the different times of the year, could be impacted by weather, it could be impacted by seasons, Christmas, and all that kind of seasons where numbers could be inflated. In the US, we saw very good retail sales number because of a stimulus check being given out to the citizens there. So retail sales number, be a bit more careful with it. Understand the overall scope of the economy, not just a number itself. And also in terms of how long to trade this retail sales number, I think it's again part and parcel of the overall picture. So you can look at it first as a very quick move. Usually you miss that move, then you play it as part of a longer term picture, not that medium term. So the medium term view is probably not going to be the most effective to look at for the retail sales number.
Okay, thank you for that, Jin. So let's go on to the currency in focus today, the pound currency. Jin, back to you.
It's like we're playing ping pong. You to me, to you, to me. All right. So currency in focus today, the pound dollar. Looking at the pound dollar again, back to forextradingasia.com with the economic calendar there. Today, Wednesday, we do have a lot of pound news coming out. Not just today, we also have pound. We've been speaking about this through the whole week. On Friday, we have retail sales number again. It's back to those retail sales numbers on Friday. But we already know that on Friday we're possibly going to see some recovery in retail sales number. We're going to see that recovery because of the UK coming out of lockdown, the people catching up in terms of their spending. We're going to see relatively good numbers there on Friday. But the focus is on inflationary numbers, the CPI numbers from the UK, month on month, expected to go from 0.1% to 0.3. Year on year number expected to go from 0.4 to 0.8. In this case, you can see it's going to be, if the numbers do come out at 0.3 and 0.8 respectively, it's likely to be quite a straightforward trade. It's going to be quite a straightforward move for the pound dollar, but there are some things to pay attention to. What are the things? Looking at the chart here on the H4 time frame on a pound US dollar, we've seen the early move early this week going from 1.3846 straight, pretty much straight line towards 1.4. Hit 1.4, and now we see that rejection of the resistance level. That move upwards, what I was terming it, probably a front running of the news coming out this week. The inflation numbers, the employment numbers, the retail sales number, all expected to be good. So markets seem to be front running that data coming out. Now that it's hit resistance, it's rejecting it, coming back down. Anticipation of some US dollar weakness to come back into play later into the week. What I might actually see is similar to what we saw 2 weeks ago at about 1.3916. At this point, very close to where it is right now, the pound dollar might find some support, some interim support at about 1.3916 or 1.3920, finding some support there. If we see the inflationary numbers come out, the CPI number come out good, we might see it retrace back up, resume back up towards that 1.4 resistance level. So an interim trade you could be looking at is for it to bounce off 1.3920 to head back towards 1.4. This would be a trade that you're going to keep your stop loss very tight at about 20 pips. Your take profit could be an easy 60 pips. You're looking at a 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. If the numbers do come out very strong, and even later into the week, we see very good, strong numbers on retail sales, we could see the pound dollar break above 1.4 and head even higher. That would be a two-part trade, one from 1.4 to 1.420 and possibly even more. But what could be the thing that throws everything off the plan is if the pound dollar breaks below 1.3920 and heads even lower, then be a bit more careful as it rejects that level or as it retraces further than expected and comes towards the closer towards the 1.3846 support level. If it does come back down all the way, then you have to be extra cautious because it's reversed that whole move despite the possible good news from the economic numbers on the inflation and retail sales numbers. We could see a reversal of the trend. So that's the pound dollar. And as a habit, whenever I look at the pound dollar, I'll look into the euro pound as well. Euro pound we spoke about yesterday. It's come very close to completing that first move. We said that it was likely to go from 8617 towards the 8651 resistance level, and it's come close to that. If we see the pound dollar sitting in consolidation, and then after that moving upwards, then I think that an update of this is we will not see it break higher. We'll probably see it turn back down off that 8651 resistance level. So something to watch out for on the euro pound as well, coming from the pound dollar news events.
Okay, thank you, Jean, for the currency analysis on pound. So yeah, today we are also with Jonathan Tan, partner at Forex Briefcase, to share with us how the Forex Briefcase managed account can help investors earn passive income. So yeah, Jonathan, to you.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thanks, Jinwei and Jean, for that good analysis on pound today. So I'm Jonathan, a partner at Forex Briefcase, and if you guys are interested how you can make some money from the Forex market, I have some interesting stuff to share with you at the moment. Okay, so Forex Briefcase is an FX managed account service, okay, where we have about over 800 clients across 12 countries. What is it in a nutshell is that our trading team, okay, will manage our investors' accounts, okay, to actually make money from the FX market for our clients in a steady and consistent manner. Okay, so let me just bring up some short slides for you. Okay, so as you can see, okay, let me share some performance with you guys. Over 30 months, okay, we are currently sitting on more than 90% because we have just closed this month, okay, of ROI for our clients. In 2019, we have had a fantastic year where we grossed 47.41% in that year. What that means is over these 30 months, you can expect an average of 3% a month. Okay, that's where the consistency and the steady growth takes place. Okay, but yet at a very small risk to your account. In this 2.5 years, our maximum drawdown that we experienced was minus 2.24%. Okay, over this whole period. And coming on to this chart that you see here, let me bring your focus to the table at the bottom where there is a month-on-month gross return, okay, on your account. If you realize we had only experienced 4 losing months, so in that case, you will not expect a very volatile investment vehicle, okay, but something that is very consistent and where your capital can appreciate gradually. Bringing your attention to this year, okay, we are in April. We just ended our closing month yesterday. As you can see on my background, in March, we enjoy a 2.13% return. This month, we are also up 2%. So just coming to the start of the second quarter this year, our clients have already experienced an 11% return. All right, so with that, we look forward that we can continue this steady growth for the rest of this year. If you are interested, you can reach out to us. Feel free to reach out to me or my team. And I'm sure Chinwei has also put the links down, okay? Get started, whether you are learning how to trade, okay? We can make money for you in the meantime, whether you're an investor looking for some passive return in a controlled and steady way, this is suitable for you. Or if you just have some savings that you would like to utilize, okay, we will definitely be the right vehicle for you. So look forward to seeing you on board. Get started. We are starting the next month for May has already begun, the trading month. Okay, we look forward to bringing you some nice returns once again. And yeah, feel free to reach out and look forward to seeing you on board.
All right, thank you, Jonathan, for the quick introduction about Forex Briefcase. So guys, I've just pasted up the link in the chat. If you guys are interested to set up an account, just click on the link and head over to put in your information in the website. The guys from Forex Briefcase will contact you. Okay, so for the final segment today, we actually, understand that yesterday. So Daniel, yeah, we have Daniel here from LCMS Traders. So understand that yesterday was the first day of the for the FX Kickstarter that you guys are running for free. So we have Daniel here to share a little bit about what the participants experienced or learned yesterday. Daniel.
Okay, thank you, Junwei. Yes, indeed. Yesterday we had many participants joining the part one of the FX Kickstarter. We discovered, we went through the basics of Forex trading. Basically you may think that you know the basics of Forex, but if one step is wrong, your understanding over the next sessions and continue learning the fundamentals, technicals will be very skilled at understanding the analysis. So that's why we did the basics to get a clear understanding. And then in addition, participants expressed their happiness yesterday that they learned about how the economic developments can affect the value of a currency. So by understanding the fundamental analysis, you can understand whether or not the currency is over or undervalued. So yes, so it was a very nice time. They asked a lot of questions yesterday. The coaches here replied to them, and they expressed that yes, it was really very difficult, but with patience and slowly learning, they expressed their desire to learn the fundamental analysis. So now, for those who have missed the part one yesterday, it's okay. So just join us this coming Thursday, 22nd April, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT +8, of course, for the part two. Now, in part two, we are going to start of the FX Kickstarter. We'll be discussing what the technical analysis is and how you can incorporate it into your trade analysis for better market timing. And we are also will combine both the strengths and technical analysis charting, right, the chart analysis, and the fundamental analysis, which is the news and economics data, into a simple to use 5-step checklist to find reliable trade and entries. So remember, the part two is tomorrow, 22nd April. The timing is 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. To join us and make use to attend this session. Now, for those who have attended before, use this chance to relearn and refine your skills. And also, don't worry, just invite your friends to join because it is free. So the link will be pasted up right now. It's a 4-day course, lcms.com.sg. Just sign up and join us tomorrow. Okay.
Yep. So I pasted up the link for the FX Kickstarter from LCMS traders. And yeah, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We'll see you guys tomorrow again for the yen and gold analysis. So yeah, thank you so much. Goodbye.